Good evening, I'm Steve Hensley. WYMT is celebrating a big milestone, 40 years on the air. It was early on a Saturday morning, October 19th, 1985, when founder Ralph Gabbard saw his dream become a reality. And we've been bringing you the latest mountain news, weather, and sports ever since.
WYMT TV, sharing the news at home. With Tony Turner, Susan Nicholas, Todd Richards with sports, and with weather, Terry West. 57 Mountain News at 6.
WYMT has now been the voice of the mountains for nearly half a century, but before 1985, some thought it was a crazy dream.
I'll never forget the day that Ralph Gabbard called me into his office and said, "I need you to help me." I said, "Absolutely." He said, "I'm going to build a TV station in Hazard, Kentucky." And I kind of looked at him. I said, "Are you sure?" He said, "Yeah, oh yeah."
Gabbard, who was general manager at WKYT in Lexington, convinced his company to buy the license of WKYH, the old Channel 57 in Hazard, owned by former Hazard Mayor Bill Gorman. Many dignitaries came together in June 1985 to break ground for WYMT. In a record amount of time, the station was built and a 1,000-foot tower was put up on Buffalo Mountain. A dream became a reality, and thousands were watching.
We heard in the beginning that Harlan won't watch because it's Hazard, and Pikeville won't watch because it's Hazard, and so forth and so on. That just hasn't been the case.
Gabbard died unexpectedly less than 1 year after that appearance on the WYMT 10th anniversary special, but he called WYMT his greatest accomplishment, and it was Gabbard that came up with our call letters.
YMT just jumped in my head because it clearly stood out for what we were, and that's how it came about. I think it was over a bowl of cereal at breakfast one day.
Former WKYT News Director, the late Ken Kurtz, shared the desire with Gabbard to build a station that served the mountains. Former U.S. Senator Wendell Ford memorably called WYMT the best thing to happen to Eastern Kentucky since roads. And by tying the region together, Kurtz said WYMT actually altered the future.
Eastern Kentucky would be a different place. It really would. We've been able to tell through the combined resources of Channel 27 and 57 the Eastern Kentucky story, not just to the region and the Commonwealth, but to the nation.
Steve Crabtree was picked as the station's first news anchor.
Ralph Gabbard and Ken Kurtz came to me and said, it's a go. We're going to build a television station in Eastern Kentucky, and we would like for you to be its first anchor. Of course, I said yes. You had me at hello.
Wayne Martin left a coaching career to come to WYMT and became general manager in 1987.
And there's not very many opportunities that you get to get involved in something that you think's meaningful. And I did from the beginning think WYMT was meaningful.
Many involved with WYMT in those early years say it's one of the biggest highlights of their lives.
We knew right away that after signing the station on the air and seeing the reception that we got from the people of Eastern Kentucky, that we probably would never experience anything like that again in our careers.
I think everyone in Eastern Kentucky is just so thankful and so proud. If you went down there and told them that you were going to turn YMT off, you'd have a fight on your hands.
While the sets, the employees, and certainly the technology has changed in the last 4 decades, our mission has not. It's virtually impossible to break down 40 years of news, weather, and sports, but we were with you for all of it. From our worst natural disasters.
First on Night Watch, a deadly outbreak of tornadoes and severe storms has left a devastating mark all across Kentucky tonight.
The floodwater is already coming up on the tire there. This is not safe to be out in.
To crimes that shocked the region.
Floyd County Sheriff's Deputy William Petrie was shot and killed in the line of duty.
The former sheriff of Letcher County, Mickey Steins, had his preliminary hearing.
To long election nights.
Will Hillary Clinton shatter the so-called glass ceiling, or will Donald Trump shake up establishment politics?
and national stories that changed the course of America.
The terrorist attack in America has certainly shaken Americans and the world. 2 hijacked airliners slammed into the World Trade Center in New York.
From major economic milestones
along new US 25E, traffic moving freely as the opening of the new Cumberland Gap Tunnel has been complete,
to state and national championships in sports.
But tonight, it was the top-ranked Wildcats who got Coach John Calipari his first championship.
And the excitement of the Mountain Classic.
We'll take a three-point launch. From half court, it is good!
Through the good and the bad, WYMT has always balanced the scale by showcasing the beauty, people, and places in the mountains that make us unique. We've lost several valuable members of our mountain family through the years, but Ralph Gabbard's dream lives on. We are still your mountain television.
This is their TV station, and I think that that's what the employees here at WYMT have to realize every single day. It's not our TV station, we just work here, but it's Eastern Kentucky's television station.
I hope that Eastern Kentucky always cherishes WYMT.
As you just heard, it was in 1985 when WYMT's storied history began, and it was on October 21st of that year when our very first newscast aired at 6 p.m. Here's what that looked like.
Weather with Karen Parks. Sports with Gary Johnson. News with Steve Crabtree. 57 Mountain News at 6.
Good evening. What started as a vision for Kentucky Central Television Executive Vice President Ralph Gabbard became not only reality over the weekend, but a part of broadcasting history. Before sunrise Saturday morning, the all-new WYMT TV hit the airways. Some said it couldn't be done, but as we learn in this report from Ralph Baldwin, 4 months and 13 days after ground was broken, WYMT TV began what is hoped to be a long tenure of serving the people of the mountains.
WYMT personnel, family, and friends stood by anxiously awaiting Saturday morning as the clock ticked down to sign on. At 6:55 a.m., Kentucky Central Television Executive Vice President Ralph Gabbard, General Manager of both WYMT and Lexington's WKYT, pushed the button to put WYMT TV on the air and begin a new era of broadcast history in the mountains of eastern Kentucky.
This is a dream come true. I'm just extremely excited about the opportunity to serve the people of all the mountains. And we're going to try to provide a good product. And seeing that thing come up this morning was something else, I guarantee you.
Ground was broken June 7th for our news station, with construction workers and station engineers working long hours to meet the projected on-air date of October 14th. However, a week of bad weather and high winds slowed installation of the more than 1,000-foot tower and antenna high atop Peary County's Buffalo Mountain, a facility that will send nearly 1.5 million watts of power radiating throughout the mountains. But bad weather wasn't the only obstacle to overcome in mountain broadcasting, as Hazard Mayor and former owner of WKYH-TV, Bill Gorman notes.
We've been blessed by deep valleys and long rivers, and the geographic location that we've had and the topography of the area is such that it's been very hard for people to communicate with one another.
Along with a strong broadcast signal being sent out from Buffalo Mountain to at least 25 counties, WYMT's 16-member news staff has fanned out throughout the mountains to help provide that communications. 2 members of the news department will be based in our Big Sandy Bureau, covering Pike, Johnson, Floyd, and Martin counties. Microwave links with the Big Sandy, Frankfort, and Bluegrass bureaus will provide live coverage of events for inclusion in the 6 and 11 p.m. WYMT newscast. And it all comes together here at the all-new studios of WYMT Television, located in Jacklot Hollow, overlooking the city of Hazard. We're your mountain television. Ralph Baldwin, 57 Mountain News.
And a very sincere thank you to everyone here in the mountains that have given us such a warm welcome. Some tragic news this evening. A 16-year-old London youth is dead following a one-car crash last night 10 miles east of London on Sasser Road. State police say Andrea Alestra's car plunged some 200 feet over a hill, throwing the youth from the vehicle, then pinning her underneath. The youth was pronounced dead at the scene. 3 other passengers were treated and released at London's Marymount Hospital. Illegal coal mining is a topic which seems to dredge up some harsh feelings between the illegal coal miner and the government. Our Brenda Bryan presents both sides of the coin, the government versus the illegal coal miner.
Since July 1982, there have been 20 illegal coal mines shut down in the state of Kentucky, and only a handful of illegal coal mines remain. This can be attributed to the crackdown on illegal coal mining by the Department of Mines and Minerals. Is there a lot of illegal coal mining going on right now in Kentucky?
No, not really. What we have under surveillance is 2 mines. One of them is a small strip job, and the other is a small underground mine, and these are very minute type mines. One of them is working 2 people, and the other has 3 people employed. And it's real hard for us to catch them. They're mining late at night and on the weekends, but we have got them under surveillance. We have posted a closure order. Once we catch them, they'll be guilty of a Class D felony, and we can go in front of the grand jury and indict them.
One illegal operator of a so-called dog hoe or small mine was recently quoted under the guidelines of confidentiality that selling his illegal coal was the only way he could afford to feed his family.
This is the United States, supposed to be a free country. And I don't think some guys up in Washington or Frankfurt should tell me, oh, don't you go to work tomorrow? And I'm not really trying to get food stamps. I might try it. It might be a better way to do it. But I don't think so.
No doubt the conflict between the illegal coal miner and the government will continue. What will never change, however, is the fact that this lump of coal will remain important to both sides, but in different ways. Brenda Bryan, 57 Mountain News.
Well, WYMT means a lot to me because here I was someone that had a lot of broadcasting experience, but never had a lot of television news experience. I had not done anything in television news since I was in college. So I was very green, and the news director there, the producers, they basically took me in. They taught me how to be a television news broadcaster, to hone my journalism skills even more. Basically gave me a chance, helped me become what I am today. And I don't know if it wasn't for WYMT if I would be the broadcaster that I am today. A lot of people in Eastern Kentucky believe that WYMT is part of their family. From everyone at WYMT, thank you for the past 40 years.
You have a vision, a dream. Growing your business takes a partner you know and trust. At Gray Digital Media, we can help because we know local. Our digital marketing experts know how to reach your customers. Our experience spans coast to coast, but our focus is right here in Eastern Kentucky. Gray Digital Media. We know local. Let's connect today. GDMEasternKentucky.com.
Although the United Mine Workers strike against the Massey Coal Company has been going on for over a year, there seems to be some hope for a settlement in the next few months. Big Sandy reporter Scott Charles has more.
Massey spokesman Don Blankenship says talks about selling the company have been underway with 3 organizations, and speculation is that Consolidated Coal Corporation is the front runner.
I don't know if you'd classify it most or not, but these properties have been the subject of conversation of sale long before the strike, and even 3 years ago when I first came here, there was conversation with some Japanese companies.
Bill Davis, UMW Local 1440 president, says the rumor about the Massey buyout by Consolidated makes him very happy.
Well, really, Consul has always been a company that was easy to work with. They never had a lot of labor problems. And that's the kind of people we want to work for, that we can give an honest day's work and get an honest day's pay and no hassle.
As things stand now, both sides are cautiously optimistic that a settlement may be reached by early 1986. Until then, both sides will stay with the positions they started with more than 1 year ago. Scott Charles, 57 Mountain News, Pike County.
Pikeville College is about $100,000 richer today. Over the weekend, the college auctioned off 2 houses on Elm and Poplar Streets in Pikeville. The house on Elm Street sold for $50,000 and the one on Poplar Street for $49,000. College President Bill Owen said the college didn't need the houses any longer and the money would be used to pay off some debts. The college plans to sell 3 more houses this fall. And Steve, that's news from the Big Sandy Bureau tonight.
And we appreciate you making the drive down here tonight, Janice. And it's with a great deal of pleasure that I introduce to you Karen Parks, who's going to be our weather person here at 57 Mountain News. In your behalf, I'll be picking on her on occasion when she rains on my weekend like she did yesterday, but we'll get to that part later. First off, I see a letter here addressed to you.
That's right. I got a very nice letter from Gil Russell, and he's the officer in charge of the operations at the National Weather Service office in Jackson.
Right.
And he wrote to welcome myself and the whole station into the mountains of eastern Kentucky. Also said he looks forward to working with me in the case of severe weather becoming a problem in eastern Kentucky. So also I look forward to working with them because they are a highly skilled and respected weather office.
I know Gil Russell personally, a true professional.
Nice man, very nice man.
Well, what's the weather hold in store? You rained on me yesterday.
We almost made it through the whole weekend, but it started yesterday, and we have about a 40% chance late throughout the day today and on into tonight, and then about a 40% chance tomorrow.
Well, tell me some more about it.
Okay. The picture you're seeing now was shot by our own Scott Charles, and it was shot at the Big Creek in Floyd County. As you can see, it was raining quite a bit today, as was the case in much of eastern Kentucky today. Let's take a look at our climate data. The record high was set in 1933, where the temperature was 86 degrees, and the low was set in 1952, where the temperature was 22 degrees. Precipitation for October, 4 67/100ths of an inch. Taking a look now at our national map, we have a cold front that's stretching down from Canada. It's bringing quite a bit of precipitation to the western portion of the United States. Also, some snow is expected. They have a winter storm warning for the folks in the higher elevations around the Sierra Nevada as well as the Lake Tahoe area. They're expecting about 2 feet of snow there. This low pressure system's also causing a lot of the precipitation you're seeing on the western coast. It's centered around the southeastern portion of California. And again, we have some rain showers reported in the eastern portion of Texas, and that's a result of this cold front. Now, this is the frontal system that moved through Kentucky yesterday, bringing quite a bit of rainfall. We saw some of that rain today. We should see about a 40% chance tomorrow, mostly clouds, some light drizzle expected. A high pressure system's moving in from the coastal region on the eastern half of the United States, centered around North and South Carolina. Now, some thunderstorms have been reported scattered through Florida. And this frontal system is expected to move on through the state and become a stationary front. It's right now mainly centered along the southeastern portion of Kentucky. Let's take a look at some temperatures across the 57 Mountain viewing area. 53 degrees with rain in the Tri-Cities area, 62 at Big Stone Gap, 60 degrees at Pikeville, Prestonsburg, and Paintsville area, 57 in Jackson as well as Hazard, Harlan 60 degrees, 70 at Middlesboro and Pineville, London, Corbin, Somerset area, 66 degrees. Right now, the humidity is 96%, barometer is 30.09 and steady. The winds are from the north at 5 miles an hour. The forecast for tonight calls for cloudy skies with a 40% chance of rain. The low should be from 50 to around 55. Tomorrow, considerable cloudiness with a 40% chance of showers. Again, the high should be 65 to 70. Tuesday night, partly cloudy. Again, a 40% chance of rain. The low should be in the 50s. The extended forecast for Wednesday through Friday calls for partly cloudy skies again. The highs should be near 70s, and the low should be around 50 to 55.
Boy, you sure know how to get off to a good start. Rain, 40% chance, 70% chance. I know. There's nothing you can do about it. I understand. It beats a foot of snow on the ground anyway. Okay, thank you very much, Karen.
I chose journalism on a whim in college, and I actually started in print, working at a newspaper in Corbin. I was born and raised here in eastern Kentucky, and so for me, I just wanted to come home and continue to be able to serve the people here in the mountains. The next logical step after print was broadcast, and so that's how I ended up here at WYMT. As many of the news directors here have, we were either born in eastern Kentucky or we were raised here. And so for me, I was born in Harlan, grew up in London. My family is here. My roots are here in the mountains. Many of the moments, the big memorable moments, most people consider the sad ones. We've unfortunately lost some of our own members of the mountain family, including Brandon Robinson. So for me, I've had some of the highs and some of the lows here at WYMT. WYMT is home. WYMT is the station that I grew up watching. Just like many of you, WYMT is my mountain television, and that's why it's so special to me.
You can see the charred car in the driveway of this home.
Every day, all day, stream the stories that have you talking near and far.
A deadly collision between a passenger plane and an Army helicopter.
From hundreds of local reporters and meteorologists spanning the country.
Thanks for joining me on Local News Live. I'm Deborah Alfarone.
The all-new Local News Live streaming app. Search LNL on your TV, on your phone. Local News Live. Always streaming, always free.
Stay connected to the team you trust. Get breaking news and investigations here on the WYMT News app.
Get instant forecasts with real-time alerts here on the WYMT First Alert Weather app.
And stream live here on your TV.
Download today and stay connected.
And now for sports, Gary Johnson.
Football, the regular season is coming to a close, and perennial mountain power Corbin is, as usual, sitting on top of the Class AA rankings. The Red Hounds sport a perfect 9-0 record. Bill Doug Taylor has a look at the class of AA football.
Success has become a tradition at Corbin High School. It was established years ago and has been enhanced in recent years.
Well, I think our success is tied up in our program. And by that statement, I mean we constantly are working with our youngsters, both in the off season. We put a lot of pressure on our youngsters to work during the weight program, and you know, it kind of starts by the time they're in the 8th grade. They're involved with us doing various type things. But basically, I think it's the weight program, the amount of work we put into it, and I really and truly believe that we have an excellent football staff. We've worked together for approximately 18 years.
Those years of hard work are paying off in the win column this season, and heads-up play has led to a big plus in the takeaway turnover ratio.
That's a correct analysis right there. We have turned the ball over a lot fewer than our opponents have, and therefore it's resulted in a lot of points. The Pikeville game the other night was a lot closer than what the score indicated. They scored first, and it made it 8-0. We come back and put 2 touchdowns on the board. It was 16-8 at the half. Our second touchdown was a result of their turnover. And then started the 3rd quarter, they turned the ball over twice.
There's no doubt the Red Hounds are powerful, but Coach Adams prefers to take them one at a time.
We have yet to play a district game. Most people don't realize the Somerset-Middlesboro tradition behind the rivalry. We have got to play our best football game of the season next week.
The coach won't say so, but it very well could be that the road to the state championship of Kentucky runs through Corbin, because these dogs can hunt. Bill Doug Taylor, 57 Mountain Sports in Corbin.
A tough mountain team as always. Well, you know him as the voice of the Wildcats. Kaywood Ledford, the play-by-play announcer for the University of Kentucky, has been a part of the Big Blue sports tradition as much as the teams themselves. Kaywood will be with us on 57 Mountain Sports 5 days a week. Welcome back to the mountains, Kaywood Ledford.
General Manager Ralph Gabbard asked me if I'd like to be a member of the WYMT sports team. Would I? I was born and raised in these mountains. I'm looking forward to visiting with you each day on this program. Since these comments are new to you, I'll mention a few things you've missed that you can look forward to now. You would have known, for example, that Chiefs Crown would win the Kentucky Derby, that Spend-A-Buck could only win in New Jersey. You would have learned that Georgetown would win the NCAA championship. Villanova shouldn't even have been invited. Last April, I fearlessly predicted that Gene Bartow would replace Joe B. Hall as the Kentucky basketball coach, and that Eddie Sutton would have no inclination to leave Arkansas. Had this station been on the air just 10 days ago, you would have learned that the Los Angeles Dodgers would win the National League pennant. They had better pitching than St. Louis. Kansas City, well, I get one right now and then. 2 games now into the World Series, despite St. Louis fans begging me to lay off, the Cardinals have it in the bag. St. Louis took both games in Kansas City, and the next 3 games are scheduled in St. Louis starting tomorrow night. The series will never get back to Kansas City. The Cards will win it at home. I'm Kaywood Ledford.
Okay, it's good to have him with us, Steve.
It's an honor.
Happy baby here at Surplus Sales. What makes me happy? Premium waterproof flooring. Special limited time pricing, only $159 per square foot. That's right, only $159 per square foot. Come by and see us today or shop online at mysurplussales.com.
On December 7, 2005, I was deployed to Baghdad, Iraq. As I was searching for the bomb, the bad guy and the bomb found me first. After the explosion, I was left with a 1% chance of living from the injuries I sustained. During my road to recovery, it was a challenge, mostly trying to figure out what life would be like with my new physical injuries. But throughout that road to recovery, I had a tremendous amount of support from friends and families and the Coalition to Salute America's Heroes. The primary mission of the Coalition to Salute America's Heroes is to offer financial emergency assistance to veterans and their families. In most cases, there is a loved one back at home who has to drop everything they're doing to be at that veteran's bedside. And of course, there are huge financial burdens that come along with that. After veterans come through the Coalition's program, they are ready to be back into society, ready to go back to work, and ready to be a leader in their own community.
Visit saluteheroes.org to learn more.
At Gray Digital Media, we develop the right message to grab attention and drive leads with custom strategies designed to grow your brand across the streaming apps you know best. Cutting-edge digital strategies backed by local expertise to connect you with new customers right here in Eastern Kentucky and wherever your audience is. We'll get results that matter to you and your business. Gray Digital Media. We know local. Let's connect today. GDMEasternKentucky.com.
Happy baby here at Surplus Sales. What makes me happy? Interior solid wood doors and solid wood kitchen and bath cabinets. Plus, we offer financing. Now that should make you happy, like me. Visit us online or stop by the showroom at Surplus Sales. Flooring, cabinets, and more.
It's time. And that just about does it for the debut newscast of 57 Mountain News. A reminder, Gary, Karen, and I will be back at 11 with an update. Stand by now for the CBS Evening News with Dan Rather. Have a good evening.
It's hard to believe that newscast was 40 years ago. We hope you'll join us for Mountain News at 6 and 11 all this week for a look back at some of the biggest news, weather, and sports stories of the last 40 years. And we thank you for putting your trust in us all these years. Good night.